Hello, my name is Joshua Derwachter, and this is for SDI 1406. I will be talking about Project 4 for SDI, and one of the problems I came in contact with was getting my console logs to work for everything and figuring out the reason why they wouldn't work, determining how to get the console log and everything to work. So once I got that figured out and done, the next problem was I would get my variable was undefined or something like that. It wasn't defined or something. And I had to go back and figure out how I could get that variable to work and for everything to run smoothly with the code and everything else. The easiest thing was not having to think of a story, just doing the functions. And I think that was easier for me because the last two projects we've done, I've had a lot of problems trying to figure out the story and everything, and I think I made it out to be a lot bigger than what should have been, and I didn't. I think I broke it down, but I didn't break it down enough, so I didn't understand everything that needed to go into the projects and everything else. And I think this activity fits into everything with learning the functions at the end have kind of helped me to go back and look at the past two projects and figure out that I should have broke stuff down and maybe took some time to think of how everything was going to be in a smaller picture, not the whole big picture and everything else. And it's helped me with pretty much like everything else is the time management. It's done all that. Also, I think pretty much the same thing for how it's going to help me in the future with time management and the code, pretty much trying to get the grasp of it and figuring out how to break everything down so I can get the code I want and get it to work and figure out how to implement my story into the code. So that will help me in the future. Plus, having knowing the code being the first time going through the code and everything, it's opened my eyes to what everything is about and how it works and everything. And I think I've not fully understood it, but I'm coming to grasp it with it. And anything about other than code, I think taught me something in my life, trying to keep the time management going and learning, doing something that I've never done before, and still after having the past two projects, the grades I got, I've still want to keep trying and everything, still try to understand it and everything, and have the ability to understand all the code and go back and figure out what I did wrong and everything else. I think that's something that's helped me in my life and figured out that I can still go through with something if I've not done something right the first time or the second time. I can still push through and try to keep working at it and figure it out and go with it. I think the moment I've had with the non-school thing is pretty much just looking at like applications and web development, websites and everything, and trying to figure out like what the code looks like for those certain things and how in depth some of the stuff is. And for my outro, I pretty much just talked about Project 4 and going over some of the moments I thought helped me and the struggle I had with Project 4.